cool. Back in Gridania. This music. Oh, can't go on? Alright, let's talk to Alphino. What level am I? I'm 46 now. Oh, I'm nearly 47. What the heck? How I have longed for the more agreeable climate of the Twelveswood. Yet I will not deny the Holy See had its charms. Endless detours aside, our Ishgardian jaunt proved quite an adventure. It really did. It certainly was an adventure. Alas, our work is far from done. We still have an airship to repair and a primal to slay. No rest for the heroic, eh? Wow, XP. Oh my gosh, I'm level 47. OJ time. Level 47, guys. Crazy. Crazy. Oh, did I get more gear? Oh, I got a new sword. Ooh. Wow, guys, check out my axe. I don't need to glamour that. Look at that axe. Look at that axe. Oh my gosh. That's cool as. I want to glamour all my new axes like this axe. Oh wow. Check on my axe. Whoa. I love it. That's cool. Oh my gosh. That's cool as heck. Was that from the instance? I don't know. Anyway. Into the eye of the storm. Sid appears to be deep in thought. It calms me to look at her. It's as though I've been reunited with a part of me I never knew was missing. Hardly surprising, you did design and build her, says Alphino. I'm curious why we got that jewel before we killed Garuda. I bear good news. The Seed Seers have granted us our request to house the Enterprise. We may take as long as we require to repair her. Of course, it would be rank folly to take one moment more than we require. Garuda, lest we forget, grows stronger by the hour. If we are to have any hope of wresting this benighted realm from her talons, it must needs be soon. Though I am no expert on the workings of airships, it seems plain to me that the Enterprise suffered much from her time in the wilderness. Am I not correct, Sid? You are. Frankly, it's a miracle she carried us this far. As you know, the Howling Eye is encircled by a raging tempest, apt to turn proud trees to marchwood. Our battle will end before it begins if the Enterprise cannot weather the storm. Given time, I believe I can fully repair her. But if this tempest is as fearsome as you say, even that may not be enough. Confound it, there must be a way to brave the fury of the elements. The elements, but of course, that's it. We work upon the element itself, using the power of a corrupted crystal. We could clear a path through the storm and spare the Enterprise a battering. I see, you propose to utilize the properties of a crystal to alter the elemental aspect of the barrier. It seems so childishly simple in retrospect. To utilize the properties of crystal to alter the elemental aspect of the barrier. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Though mayhap not to use, Corey, we speak of the manifestations of over-aspected ether and that can be found throughout Eorzea. Once a calamity disrupted the land's etheric current, such crystals have become comparatively commonplace. which has been a cause of great woe as they are known to warp ether energies, including those of living organisms. The point is, we could theoretically use a corrupted crystal to convert the wind aspected ether comprising Garuda's barrier into ether of another aspect, one she cannot control. With certain modifications, the Enterprise should be able to deliver us to the Howling Eye. In comfort, however, hard Garuda blows. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. All of this rests upon our ability to procure a crystal with the necessary properties. Have you any idea where we might acquire one? No, but I know a man who might. A scholar by the name of Lambert, who resides in Camp Drybone. Strange as it may sound, I met him during my time at the church. Well, Marx met him, I suppose, whether out of pity or... Oh, that's what he used to be called. Or for want of a more willing listener. He would talk to me for hours at a time about his etheric studies, corrupted crystals being his pet subject. It was as a result of these conversations that poor Marx was observed to possess an uncommon knack for theoretical science. Scori, I need you to return to Thanalan and seek out this scholar. Sid and I will set about repairing the Enterprise in your absence. Cool. I can do that. Level 47. That's so cool. That's what happens when you do an instance. Alright. Moving? Did I get that axe from the instance? I'm just curious, I wonder. Like, was it a quest reward or something? What was it? What's it called? Eisen Tainzer. I'm curious. Eisen Tainzer. Where did I get it? Was it from a weapon coffer or something? I don't know. Oh, it's Stone Vigil. It's cool. I got it from the Stone Vigil. Nice. My new axe. I feel awesome. Look at it. It's so cool. Look at it, so cool. Ah! Anyway, let's go. Where am I going? Over here? Oh, I don't think that's the way out. How do I get out of here? It's not that way. Is it up the ramp? I think it's up the ramp. Is it downstairs? Could be downstairs. Ah. Lambert. Why yes, I am Professor Lambert. Beg pardon? You wish to hear about my research on corrupted crystals, truly? Well, nothing would give me greater pleasure than to discuss my work with a fellow man of science. Oh, we get to choose? Wow, none of these are good for me. So weird. Maybe because I've got my warrior gear. Professor Lambert is about to show you something you will never forget. Ooh. So rare it is to find fellow intellectuals in this region. It is even rarer to find one capable of comprehending the nature of corrupted crystals. Come to think of it, there was another, a hermit of whom the church had given sanctuary. Sid. Curious fellow, unsociable, rather daft at first impression, yet possessed of an amazing affinity towards the scientific pursuits. But to the matter at hand, did you say you wish not to conduct field observations, but to harvest a corrupted crystal? Egads man, at least take the necessary precautions so that you do not suffer from exposure to its harmful energies. I'm beginning to wonder if you've sufficient qualifications to handle such hazardous materials. Still, your ignorance is somehow endearing. Luckily for you, are precisely the means by which those inherent dangers may be averted. Simply store the crystal you seek with this watered pot to protect yourself from us deleterious effects, though I suppose you will be bombarded with its energies until you place it within the vessel. Well, perhaps it shall motivate you to work quickly. In any case, take the pot to Haha Sako, a student of mine monitoring the flow of ether at Piebridge. Explain to him your quest and he shall instruct you on the finer points of crystal harvesting. Okay. Deliver the watered pot to Hanasako. Door. Where's the door? Maybe which way is it? You reckon I come out from here? Do you reckon it connects? Oh. So far so good. Whoa, what a drop. Which reminds me, what's the time? Aha! Haha soccer. How many times must I be made to explain myself? I am not contemplating suicide, you imbecile. I have chosen this precise position to perform scientific measurements. What have we here? A containment vessel. Why, this is the handiwork of Professor Lambertin. You thieving knave, I shall call call for the... Oh, you say the man himself lent it to you. Then you must have sought me out per his instruction, which means he believes me experienced enough to expound upon his explanations. At last, the recognition I so rightfully deserve. Get to choose? Quirus? We get a body. Oh my gosh, finally. Alright. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, you know what else I forgot to do? Oh, Steel Quirus. Mithril. Oh, we're going from Steel to Mithril. Equip. Hey, it doesn't look too bad, right? I feel like I might not even have to change that. Well, first of all, I'm going to reassign gear. It's not bad looking. I'm going to keep it. It's pretty decent. Especially because I'm kind of mismatched anyway. And awesome, we got a chest now. Woohoo, level 40. Alright, let's go. Hanasako is trying very hard to contain his excitement and is failing. Oh, frabjous day. Kalu Kale. That I should be chosen to guide this man. Yes, I, Hanasako, greatest of the Professor Lambertian's people, shall see that you successfully quarry your quarry. Your timing is impeccable. In fact, for I was just preparing to procure corrupted crystals from the burning wall for my personal research. There, the devastating destruction caused by the calamity has blessed us with a bounty of sublime specimens. But something tells me that naught but a perfect peace will satisfy your high standards, in which case you must needs descend to the deepest depths. Amidst the flowing waters and the murderous Mirrorites lies the most fantastic formation I have found thus far. Take this highly advanced researcher's tool and use it to separate a small fragment from the large cluster. Place it with a watered pot and bear it back to me for inspection. The path which leads from Burgundy Falls to the base of the burning wall is treacherous and terrifying, but advance with appropriate caution and you shall surely survive. The burning wall. Okay. Well, how do we get there from here? Right, okay. Damn, look at that drop. Oh. No, they don't let you drop. It's not like Leap of Faith. How exactly do we get out? This way? Got a level sync. Wow, kind of like alien type of world. Whoa, this place is crazy. Whoa, check it out. Crazy. is it? What's with that circle? What's our quest? Use the maul to fracture the corrupted cluster. The maul? Corrupted cluster. Go down, you reckon? Oh, I can't even TP back because I got that right back. Maybe I have to read it. Oh, there it is. How do I get there? Oh, I can just jump down. So we got it. Now we go back. Now this might show me how to get back up, right? If I go... Is it just a big spiral? Like, did I get down here and then I stopped? I think the simplest explanation is that it's a spiral. Sort of a spiral. Not even a spiral. It's another way. Very organic shape, right? Very alien looking. Up is usually the way to go. Yeah, I think I'm doing right. Yeah, coming out is easier than going in. It's like when you go a maze, if you go backwards, it's usually alright. From the center. I'm gonna go back to the place. Did I miss where he was? Haha Sako. I see you've come galloping back. Have you the crystal then? Hand over. What a prodigiously large and lovely crystal. Professor Lamberton will doubtless come chortle with joy when you present it to him in person. Oh, and upon your return, do remember to recount how I helped you with your harvesting. Okay. TP? Oh, 37. I'm gonna do the magic. I'm gonna go to that golden saucer. See what's going on. I can just ask the person what the next thing is. Oh, I should know it's green. I'll ask the person. See if it's what I want. Leap of faith. Yes, let's go. Is it 40? Is that what it is? Happens at 40? Wow, check out that bow. That's really cool. Makes me want to play my archer. Bard. Level 80 bard. Composite bow. Doesn't seem to be a lot of people here. I wonder if it'll be less crowded. funny how long the minutes go by when you're waiting like this for this pup thing. Cool, let's have another crack at it. Is it the same as before? Ooh. How did I get that? How did people get that one? How did I get that one? Oh, from the bottom one. Oh, you have to do a bit of a run? How did I do that? Oh my gosh. Oh, this is one I've done before. Oh my god. How do you get to that one? Now where? Oh. Wow! Oh no! Need me a bit more of a run. How do people get that one? Where's the end of this? Oh no! Where are they going? What that? Oh! Oh, this is the end! Oh crap. Is it here? Wow! Oh wow. Interesting. Which way? Oh, this way. I got it! I got it, guys! I got it! Oh my god! And then I missed it! I got all of it! I just have to do a running jump for that part. I feel pretty happy. It's doable. Oh my gosh, too far. Crap. Oh no! It's funny. Oh dear, I didn't even jump. Oh dear. But I still got the gold one. I got the gilded cacti, the gold one. I just needed to do a bit of a running jump for that last part, that was it. But I'm pretty happy with that. So much better than before. Okay, let's continue on with our quest. Map. I'm gonna get some more water. Okay, so, well, it's raining. OJ time? I think he's in the building. This one? Lambert. My keen scholar sense tells me that you've obtained a corrupted crystal. Am I right? You're right. Hand over. If you would grant me a moment to examine the crystal. It is as you desire. A corrupted crystal overflowing with wind-aspected ether. Remind me, for what purpose did you intend to use this crystal again? What? To breach a barrier comprised of wind-aspected ether? Oh dear, that may prove problematic, as this crystal would only serve to strengthen the barrier. I suppose if I am at fault for not inquiring as to your objective from the start. Had I known your intent, I would have never sent you to Sako. But what is science if not trial and error? And can you truly say that this failure has taught you nothing? Think, man. You now understand the methods necessary to safely collect a corrupted crystal. You will doubtless have no difficulty doing so once more. What's more, the crystal you collected can serve as an invaluable resource for the ethereal studies conducted by the students of Boldisham. You've heard of them? Well, I don't mean to boast, but I have a professional relationship with the organization, not as equals, of course. I would never be so bold as to claim that level of expertise. Are you alright? Your eyes seem to have glazed over for a moment. Anyway, I shan't keep you from your task. You've still a corrupted crystal to find. What shall we do? Gauntlets? Oh, because I got my warrior stuff, right? And it's going to be ages before my archer gets this stuff, so I'm not going to get it. Corrupted crystals of sufficient size and strength are not all that common, I fear. Fortunately, one of my other students, Sienna, claims to have discovered another promising site in eastern Lanosia. Wait, that's not correct. Eastern Lanosia was where she was nearly killed when when wandering too close to an imperial castrum. Haha, now that made for an amusing anecdote. This guy's funny. It was Western Lanosia, Farah Sirius, on the Isle of Umbra, to be precise. I can't recall her exact reasoning. Something to do with one of the Dalamud's talons or some such nonsense. What I can say for certain is that she is still in Alaport, attempting to gain access to the Isles. Why not travel there and see if Sienna's inquiries bear fruit? If you can look past the crass and violent ways of the local pirates, you might find your time there to be quite pleasurable. Oh, and do not forget to take your makeshift watered pot, lest she think you unprepared for the task. Alright, so speak with Sienna in Alaport. Easy. Teleport to Alaport. Easy. Oh, so my sister was able to sign in. In here, you think? Maybe upstairs? So many levels here. Oh, maybe up there. How do I get there? Oh, here it is. Sienna. Huh? Corrupted crystals? Shh, I've no interest in being the butt of your jokes, so if you've no other reason for addressing me, kindly leave me be. Hand over. Well, I'll be damned. Professor Lambert did send you. Beg your pardon if it seems we got off on the wrong foot. I'm Sienna, greatest of the Professor's pupils, which is doubtless why he had you seek me out. Indeed, I am an accomplished scholar with an extensive background in... Yawn. Oh god, just listen to me prattle on and on. I must have given this introduction 12 times by now. That's so funny. Guess we'll go with that one. As I told the professor in my many missives, I believe that the area surrounding Pharos Sirius is replete with corrupted crystals of exceptional strength. Unfortunately, I have yet to test my hypothesis, as all access to the Isles of Umbra is prohibited at present. For reasons unknown to me, you see my attempts to acquire this information are often met with annoyance and disdain. It's rather puzzling, since I always take the time to explain my motivation in great detail to the subjects of my questioning. Mayhap you will have better luck wresting information from these yellow jackets. I've all but given up at this point. Okay, so... Alright. Where is this? It's probably not pirates. Downstairs? I'm confused. Yellow jackets. Okay, at least that gives me a clue. I have to look for yellow jackets. Well, let's start with someone easier then. Here's one. Berkman. You're keen on travelling to the Isles of Umbra? Bloody hells, lad. Are you drunk or just crazy? Ain't nothing there but death, death, and more death. Where? I wonder if there's a way to know. No. In here? Can't even go in there. Maybe down this way. Promising. Yeah. Alza de Milza. The Isle of Umbra. When interest have you in that god-forsaken place? Ever since we were forced to abandon Pharos Sirius, the Isles have become naught more than a graveyard for ships unable to navigate the shores, and a purgatory for souls dragged down to the depths with them. I'm choosing my fastest steed to do this quest. Maybe down here? Oh, I don't know. Where would a yellow jacket hang out? Maybe around the corner? Someone just lying there. Yellow jackets. Not the front door. Not in here. Interesting. So we're gonna go up. Huh? How? I can see them. How would I know to go there? How do you even get there? Seriously, I wonder. How do you get here? Oh. That's tricky. Seriously. Oh well, found him. Found her. Quanib. You startled me. Don't you know better than to sneak up on a person at a time like this? What with all this fatuous gossip of spirits and spectres and haunting the Isles of Umbra? Just because I know it's nonsense doesn't make it any less frightening. Cool, and now back to... Sienna. Ah, Scora, you've returned. Tell me of your findings. Really? Invested with the undead, you say? That is a very, very interesting development. Excuse me for a moment while I gather my thoughts. 46. Lots of XP. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Crazy. Worry not, my friend. I've given your findings some thought, and I've concluded that this talk of spirits is not more than local folklore. As for why all travel to the Isles of Umbra is restricted, well, mayhap it's considered too dangerous, owing to the abandonment of Faros Sirius. Yes, well, anyway, while you were questioning those yellow jackets, I paid a visit to the local pub. Since even an esteemed scholar like myself enjoys dulling her wits on occasion. It was there that I heard tell of a man named Skyfrin, who was recently detained after returning from, wait for it, the Isles of Umbra. This is the first I've heard of someone actually travelling to and from there, so I'm curious as to how he obtained permission. Mind having a chat with him in my stead? He was arrested after all, so I'm somewhat reticent to approach him myself. Alright. Oh, over here. Okay. Oh, in the cell. Skyfrin. I have to go back. She calls to me, sings to me. Tell Mimidoa I'm sorry. Give him this. He was right. Oh, you could release me? Yes, release me. I will go and tell her. Let me go to her. Ooh. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're progressing and we're getting XP. That's all that matters. Yeah. Sienna. What did Skyfrin have to say? That's not terribly helpful. I couldn't care less how much he misses his favourite bar wench. But what was that about a man named Mimidoa? Wait, I know that name. That bastard who grabbed my ass the other day at the pub. Well, if you want him to give him that feather, be my guest. I'm not going anywhere near him and his wandering hands. So now what do? Go down this way? Oh, where did I? What? Where? Alright, here we go. Mimidoa. I remember this guy. Another initiate, are ya? No. What do you want? What then what are ya? Speak up, son. I can't hear ya. I remember this guy from an early quest. Back when I was doing every quest. Bugger me, this is what I think it is. Nah, couldn't be. You found this, you say. Where'd you say you found it? Skyfrin, you say. Was hoping to have a word with the lad, but it sounds like there's naught left between twixt his ears. He was supposed to help patch up Faros. Serious he was. Company sent me to supervise a lot of them. Weren't getting work done on their own, see? Half of them walked off, half of them ran off, and half of them up and vanished. He's funny. What's that? You be looking for passage to the Isles of Umbra? Why didn't you say so? I've been thinking of dispatching someone to take a look at look on behalf of Mimidoa. Tell him how the land lies. Ain't nobody been interested till you came a-callin'. Whole port's up in arms about spirits and so forth. If I had the gil, I'd hire some sellswords and let them sort it out. But you'll do in a pinch, you will. Show this parchment to the skipper, and he'll see you there and back. Okay, skipper. I'm just like talking to everybody in our words. So you went and had a word with Mimidoa. I hope the valuable time you saw fit to waste amounted to something. You mean that disgusting creature was Skyfriend's superior? I find that hard to believe, but this writ of passage does appear to be genuine, so it must be true. I must say, it is a relief to work with such an industrious man as you. I look forward to hearing of the discoveries you will make, or the Isles of Umbra without me. Sienna has no desire to journey to the Isles of Umbra. Fine. I fail to see the justification for dragging me along on your journey, but if you must, I will go as well. But 12 as my witness, if you leave me behind to be devoured by some horrid abomination, I shall come back to haunt you. Alright, so we're gonna go there to the... Okay. We're going to Isle of Umbra, I guess. Ferry skipper. Ha! Take me to the Isle of Umbra, he bids. As if it is simple as, oh, I see you got a writ of passage. Alright, then climb aboard. This is hilarious. Okay, so I'm at the Isle of Umbra. Whoa, what's happening here? What's that? Sienna. This doesn't seem all that bad. Oh, I'm not saying I'd like to build a summer home here, but oh the hell's with it. Here, take your pot and go on without me. You've harvested corrupted crystals before, right? So it ain't as though you require my assistance. Speak to the man guarding the gate. I'm sure he'll let you in. Now, if you would please excuse me. Oh, she's gone. I know what to do. We just did it in the other quiz. Reluctant researcher. David? Beg your pardon, sir, but how did you come here? Access to this island is currently restricted. An old pot. I'm not sure I follow. Oh, I see. You wish to harvest a corrupted crystal. Sorry, friend, but you may have to return empty-handed. Really? Oh, bit of XP. That's all. Oh my gosh, look at me. Look at me fly. So much. So I think the earring helps a lot. The Writ Master Mimidoa may grant you access to the island, and only authorized personnel may proceed past this point. Why, you ask? Look up and see for yourself. When that giant mass of crystal struck the lighthouse, it caused severe damage to both the structure and the machinery within that once powered the beacon. Contrary to what the small folk would have you believe, the fires of Ferros Sirius were not the product of a major's thaumaturgy or a colossal arcane bomb, but an elaborate contraption fueled by ethereal energy. Repairs are still ongoing, but it's anyone's guess when they'll be complete. What's worse, all work has ceased since rumours of the Walking Dead drove off our entire crew. Not that those rumours are incorrect. I've observed the fiends from a distance at the ship's graveyard to the south. What's drawn them to our shores is still a mystery, though. I'll make you a deal, Scory. Help me unravel this mystery, and I'll bring you your corrupted crystal. In fact, I shall begin searching for the one that satisfies your requirements. Cool. As for where to begin your inquiries into the situation, it so happens that a party of 3 adventurers came ashore not long ago, seeking to scavenge valuable trinkets at the ship graveyard. I'd be surprised if they knew nothing of the undead infestation, so it might behoove you to question them. Okay, that's cool. Behoove. The 3 adventurers? Anyone I recognize? Irapi Tarapi. You saw him too, right? Dead people, just shambling about without a care in the world, except when they do seem to care, that is, and start shuffling towards the water. Lewis, gods, that voice, that single fleeting verse, I can still hear it. Stay clear of the southern shore, friend. It took every ounce of my strength to resist. Oh, what? Did the sun just come up? Oh my gosh, the sun came up. It's crazy. It's all there for the taking. 5 bleeding years worth of wrecks and their cargo. But those queer dead things, that voice. Actually, the voice was quite nice. It's like a siren, maybe? How do I go back up? David. This talk of an alluring voice is disturbingly familiar, as if... But that's impossible. They're all dead, aren't they? XP. Crazy. David is sweating profusely. But if they have returned, that would mean... Oh, beg your pardon, I was just thinking about something. Which reminds me, I received word that Master Mimidoa would be arriving any moment. Apparently he grew tired of waiting for the lanky young lad with the 1,000-yard stare to return, which I'm assuming is you. I'm lanky. I don't know what sort of arrangement you had, but you should probably go and explain yourself. What's been keeping you, Nishat? I ain't getting any younger, you know. Some honey-voiced harlot's been calling out to folk what wander near the ship graveyard. And it stirred up the dead and all? Bloody hells. This takes me back to the days as a cannon boy sailing under Mistbeard. But they wouldn't dare, would they? Not after the lesson we learned last time. Bah, they bloody would though, wouldn't they? Brazen-o. Biddies. Some folks said as the first purge would be the last, but I knew deep down in my bones, as this day would come, and come it has. I bet me bum ear a siren's behind all this. Nay, not one of the sanguine variety in a ship. I speak of the other kind, them what's got feathers and lure sailors to a watery grave with their sweet, sweet song. Oh, it doesn't end there. No, drowning's just the start. See, even in death, a man stays bound to the beast, forced to do her bidden, till his corpse can't do it no more. 'Tis a fate I wouldn't wish on me worst enemy, except maybe in drink, and I'd regret it afterwards. Any road. Tis up to us to stop the hell's born hussy before she takes another soul. Course, we can't send you marching off to war without these. The siren don't have no power over manners, can't hear her song. 'Tis lucky for you I carry a spare pair, and lucky for the both of us I'm a superstitious old sod, eh? Well, she ain't coming to us, so we best head over to her, to the ship graveyard. Initiate. Okay. Siren. Where am I? I'm off the coast. Interesting. I just don't know where I am, geographically speaking. The mobs don't care about me. It's good. Beach. Mibidoa. If she passes near the shore, she's sure to spy the campfire and come looking. Just a matter of waiting now. Follow Mibido to the ship graveyard. Ooh. Anything else? Campfire? What's this? Wait by the campfire. Oh, okay, 46. That's pretty close to my level. I didn't have to go down much. What's happening? Yawn. I'm beginning to wonder if some sly bugger ain't spun us a yarn here. Quiet. You hear that? 'Tis her. Oh my gosh. Look, out of the water. She's come, Nishit. She's come. Oh. Wow. I feel like I watched Asmongold do this. I don't know if I'm sure or not. Quick lad, shove them plugs in your ears and get ready for a fight. Soon as she realizes you're deaf to her ditties, she'll call on her thralls and we'll be up to our necks in corpses before you know it. Alright. What do we do? Oh. Hither, embrace, mine everything. Oh, she's trying, but I'm deaf to her ears. True love spurned. His cruelty's reward. Duty commenced. Oh, cool. Killed him. Space, mournful mistress, distress. Why? I'm immune. Something happened on Twitch. Hold on. Oh, thank you, Twitch core. Alright. The melody, last breath. Dost thou not to relent, regret forever alone? Do I hit the bubble? What do the bubbles do? Probably stay away from them? Or do I hit it from range? I don't know. We'll find out. Are they coming towards me? Bubble burst. Makes my damage go. Can I hit them? Doesn't hurt much though. Ooh, big way. I don't know what to do with the bubbles. Nothing I can do about them. Duty complete. Cool. Ship graveyard. Alright, so... Talk to me, Widower. Right. Am I alright? Ha, I'm better than that, Nishit. Happy as a sailor in a whorehouse, I am. Of course I'd be happy as a sailor with two what's-its if we gutted the songstress. But we can't have everything, can we? She'll not come crooning round here again, though. Not for a while, any rate. And if she does, well, we know what to do, don't we? Thanks for the help. Bugger me. I've clean forgot your name. Remind me, Scory. Don't recall having no initiate by that name. But if you're not me, old mate, what's name? Why, you've been so bloody helpful. Never mind. Been seeing you, lad. Cool. Where do we go now? Speak to David again. I think he's back that way. Ooh, I'm so close to 48. This is the fun part of like leveling in MMO. Especially when you get to the high levels. You mean it was a siren? But how were you able to resist the song? I see. I had heard that Master Mimidoa had involved in the first purge, but I never actually... Having survived an ordeal like that, I can't blame him for carrying earplugs around with him. Anyway, I have something for you. The corrupted crystal you wanted. Safely sealed within the pot. Just as you requested. Please take it with my compliments. Cool. Got what we came for. We did some stuff. Yeah. So we gotta go back. Is this TP, you reckon? TP, I think. Or should we go with the Ferry Master? He's waiting for us, right? Let's go with Ferry Master. Like, he's just waiting here. It's polite. You headed back to Alaport? Hop in if you like. Cool. Free. Save 133 gil. I feel like I want a break soon. We have done a lot, guys. today. Feels like it. Oh, she was up, wasn't she? Sienna? Oh, it's you. Welcome back, Scory. You're looking remarkably hale, I must say, and more importantly, alive. You are alive, aren't you? Yep, I'm alive. Ah, the conquering hero returns bearing a gift. Might I have a closer look? Impressive, very impressive indeed. Yes, I think you'll be quite pleased with this specimen. Congratulations, Scory. Seldom if I have ever encountered a corrupted crystal composed of such a volatile overabundance of fire aspected ether. Left. Alright, what you wanted, a corrupted crystal composed of ice aspected ether to counteract the effects of raging wind? Aha, well this specimen won't help you there. Anyone who knows anything about the elements could tell you that. You'll just have to keep looking, I suppose. Sienna knows where the corrupted crystal that you see can be found, so that wasn't the one we wanted. Don't fret now. I know exactly where to find a corrupted crystal comprised of ice aspected ether. An associate of mine in Gridania has been studying the effects of one such crystal on living beings. What's with the expression? I thought you would be pleased to hear this news. This is not another wild dodo chase, I assure you. And what's even better is that this time you needn't use that watered pot of yours to protect yourself from the crystal's energies. Hetty's findings suggest that it is quite safe. Why, you ask? Well, let's just say that it has undergone a unique process that has rendered such precautions unnecessary. Anyway, do not let me keep you. It has been a pleasure, Scory. Come back and see me sometime, alright? Sounds good. Alright. Gridania now, are we? Wow. Yeah, at which point do you, I'm getting starting to get a little tired now. At which point do you stop? Because there's always like a little bit more. And they're really kind of easy, the steps, so except for the instances. And then when you get to instance, I want to do them as well, so I don't know. When do we stop? Am I the only one online in the guild? No, oh well, they're away, I think. And he's waiting for Duty Finder. Huh. Private house. Huh. Okay. I can't mount in this place. Well, what is this? Oh, this is that place I had the speech in. It feels like ages ago, like just when I was starting to get into the adventure. But it probably was just like a week or so ago, maybe. Do you think? Headwind. Greetings and salutations, Mr. Kaitika. I presume Sienna informed me of your adventures in Alaport. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding, though. Though, as Professor Lambernet is fond of saying, no action taken in the name of science is ever truly wasteful. To the matter at hand, corrupted crystals possessing the properties you seek could be found in abundance in the standing courses following the calamity. Alas, that is no longer the case. And while there is at least one suitable crystal that remains to be found within the 12's Wood, precisely where it is at any given moment is more difficult to say. Permit me to explain. You are familiar with Spriggans, yes? The furry little rascals that want to seek out ores and other stones? Well, one such creature with an infamously insatiable appetite has single-handedly devoured every corrupted crystal in the Trials would. Fortunately for you, these crystals take an eternity to digest, assuming they can even be digested, and I'm reasonably confident that one still resides within his gut. It's quite fascinating, really. My theory is that this Giggity first consumed a corrupted crystal when... You couldn't care less about all this, could you? To the point then. Giggity seldom makes his presence felt unless there is particularly fine fodder to be had. Therefore we shall require a lure, and I have precisely the sort he will find impossible to resist. Simply place his true heart. I shall save the story of the origin of this unusual name for another occasion, outside the brigand's lair, and wait for the opportune moment to pounce. As for the method by which you retrieve the crystal from his gut, I shall leave that to your discretion. Alright, so we have a heart. And we can go... yeah. Bed branch. Very familiar with bed branch. Okay, I'm gonna stop soon. I'm feeling it. I feel like now's a good time to stop. But so close to 48, which is close to okay, map. Alright, let's go. Can't believe I actually left the starting towns. I was in the starting towns for so long in this game. It's kind of nice. Just coming back here, it's like, I feel bigger. It's like when the hobbits came back to Hobbiton, the Shire, after their adventure in Lord of the Rings. Although I haven't finished the adventure. I've just kind of just started it really. I don't know how to get to that part. Is it from New Gridania? Is that closer? Maybe it's closer from there. Ah, so close. Whoa. Where is it? Down? Whoa. There it is. Interrupted? Okay. What is this? Is it Dust Bunny? Crystal Bearer. Oh, is this the Gribbons thing? I should clear the area first. What's this little guy? Oh my gosh, another one. They spawn quickly. Cool. Now can I get the thing? What's the thing that I need? Did I get it? Ah, I did get it. Was that all the spawns from the quest? Map. Okay. Alright, so... I'm gonna go turn this in. Can't. Ah. Hidden. Ah. Pray do not sneak up on me like that. I was engrossed in... Wait, what was that? Sniff sniff. What's that god's awful smell? My word, that is a breathtakingly beautiful crystal. I see my supposition was not mistaken. And I also see you weren't averse to digging through Spriggan entrails for your prize. We owe our furry friend a debt of gratitude, you know. This thick coating of digestive juices is protecting us from the harmful effects of the crystal, just as a watered pot you once used did. Why so glum, friend? You finally obtained the corrupted crystal you sought, one overflowing with earth. Oh no. Earth aspect of ether. Oh no. Calm down, I just. Oh no. It is composed of ice aspect of ether. Worry not. I suppose that joke was in poor taste, considering your previous 2 attempts were for naught. I almost thought it was like, gonna be, that's what's gonna be. Oh my gosh, I'm level 48, guys. Amazing. 2 levels from 50. Oh wow. Hedon has neglected to return to you your corrupted crystal. Beg your pardon, Scory, I forgot to return your crystal to you. Oh, and there was a message for you from Professor Lambernet. Something about a man named Marx. Apparently the professor misses the intellectual stimulation. Forgive me, I should have written it down. It occurs to me that I have yet to ask why you needed the crystal. You aren't planning anything nefarious, are you? Oh, it's too late now, is it? 'Twould reflect poorly on me and my research if it was used for evil ends. Ah well, perhaps it is best I remain ignorant. I didn't become the professor's greatest pupil by filling my head with unnecessary information. So funny. I want to deliver to Sid after all this. I feel like we need to. Is Sid here as well? Oh, okay. I remember this place when I was a Lalafell. Line A airship ticketer. Greetings, sir. Do you wish to proceed to your vessel? Yes. Proceed to landing vessel. Landing area. Cool. Yeah. Oh. Sid and Alphino. All repairs and modifications have been completed, Scory. Once you bring me that crystal, nothing will stand between us and Garuda. I have the crystal. Oh my gosh. Should we take down Garuda? I need to run some tests to be sure, but this looks to be exactly what we need. Worry not, Scory. I'll see that your hard work doesn't go to waste. They nod. The Enterprise is already more than a common airship, but mark my words, soon it will become something greater, something extraordinary. This is me. This is what I was born to do. Nice. Oh, I get to choose? Oh, nothing I need. Shame. XP is good though. When I look at her, I feel as though I've come home. I think of no other way to express it. With Sid's modifications now installed, the Enterprise is finally ready to make the journey to the Howling Eye. According to my tests, the device is now functioning in perfect harmony with the crystal, meaning we can leave whenever you're ready. Wow. But you must understand, tests can only tell one so much. Until we approach the Howling Eye, until we attempt to breach the barrier itself, I cannot be sure that this will work. I think It's only fair to tell you that there is a small but statistically significant chance that the crystal could trigger a massive. Mayhap it's better that we remain positive. Score, I want to thank you for reuniting me with my ship, for trusting me to develop this plan, for everything. You've helped me to rediscover part of myself I've forgotten. I'm not the man I once was, and I do not know if I ever shall be, but I do know one thing: this feels right. My apologies for the sudden outpouring of sentiment. I would have waited until after the mission, but, well, you understand. Cool. Are we gonna fly?
There. She's ready.
We got voices.
Ah, she stirs.
It's only half a wheel. Every Final Fantasy game has to have a Sid, right?
To Kurthus, and an audience with the Harpy Queen Garuda.
Kurthus, that's how you say it.
Enterprise, engage.
Engage? Oh my gosh. Is that like a Star Trek reference? Is it? Because all the time that they said in Enterprise, I was thinking Star Trek. Final Fantasy music. It's cool. I'm on an airship. Sid's airship. Fantastic. Takes his goggles off. I thought he was gonna take his face off. What's on his forehead?
Damn it. I once flew in this airship, and I was not alone. There were adventurers on board. Adventurers like you. Just how long have I worn these damn goggles?
Long time. Oh, he's a kid. I actually saw this cutscene.
Yes.
I think when
I
Asmongold
fancied
got to this
myself
part.
a trendsetter in my younger days.
Hey, he had silver, goldish, grey hair
A young
since he was young.
prodigy, admired by all, exactly like his father.
Even the flashbacks, kind of like old film, that kind of color.
Born and raised in Garlemald.
Oh, that's that mech mount people I see people have a lot.
It was only natural that the precocious young student should become an engineer. Had his father not done the same? Father, when did we stop seeing eye to eye? When did Meteor become your everything, and your loved ones cease to matter?
Is that his father?
You abandoned us all, but he was there for me, Father.
Oh.
There for me when you were not.
So he's not his father.
Though
Sorry.
he proved no better in the end. Gaius was just another man with an all-consuming obsession.
Gaius.
And so I ran, left the Empire behind and came to Eorzea, where I built the ironworks. Ah yes, it was then that I first donned these goggles.
Ah, his crew.
Eorzea opened my eyes. It was home to so many manner of people, each with their own hopes and dreams. People worth saving, and so I fought beside them. I wanted to prove that my knowledge could serve a nobler purpose. I wanted to prove that there was another way. And it all began that day when I found my new home. I had forgotten how wonderful it was. The wind in your hair, the endless sky. That light. It was you, wasn't it? It's surprising how few people know this, but all pure-blood Guardians have a third eye.
I didn't know that.
Perhaps mine helped me recognize you, or perhaps it was just a lucky guess. The Enterprise was made for this, to carry Eorzea's protectors into battle. I am proud to be able to call her my own.
Sid? What exactly do you remember?
Alfinord, my boy, sorry to have been such a burden. I remember everything.
Nice.
My name, my people, and my purpose. Everything. Come, it would be rude to keep Garuda waiting.
Wow, I can see that green thing. Cool. Alright, nice cutscene. What do we do now? Is that the fight? Alphino. All our efforts, all our travels, all of it was for this. Make ready, Scory, for the end is nigh. Be it hers or our own. I think I watched Howling Eye. I think I watched Asmongold do this with people. I did. So what I'll do is I'll stop the video recording now. I'm gonna watch some videos of it, how to do it, and then I want to do it now. Alright, so